So guys, in this video, I'm going to take you through a case study of another brand called Pet Lab Co. Right? They pretty much sell dog food, right, and pet food. So the way they have structured pretty much their entire funnel and the amount of traffic and sales that they make, they're pretty much an eight-figure company, right, making $10 million annually and more, right? So in this video, I actually want to take you through what their funnel structure looks like, right? Because most people on Instagram and on YouTube and all these other platforms pretty much just show you the flashy stuff in e-commerce, but no one really shows you what these big companies do in their funnels and what their creatives look like, what their ad angles look like, and how do they really approach the market? How do these companies approach the market when it comes to what kinds of creatives, what kinds of funnels, and what kinds of ads they really run? And what are the kinds of campaign objectives that they primarily focus on when they're going all the way from converting a stranger, taking them on that journey and converting them to an end customer, right? So I'm here to show you that, all right? So yeah, firstly, when the funnel opens up, when they start the funnel, right, they're pretty much looking at a focused ad, a prospecting ad, right, that looks something like this, right? They usually try to have some sort of social proof, some kind of FOMO, right? So this drains your dog's happiness. That's the hook, right? And any dog lover or any cat lover, any pet lover will never want that for their pet, right? So they're obviously going to pay attention. So you're automatically filtering out people who don't care about their pets, right? Because if someone doesn't care about their pet, they're obviously not going to care about what you can sell to them for their pet, right? It's all psychology, right? So focus on the value proposition and FOMO to get the prospect enticed and clicking on the ad, right? So when they see this, they're obviously gonna have an emotional spike. They're gonna start thinking about, okay, what's this about? And obviously, they're gonna be redirected to a landing page that looks somewhat like a listicle or an article, right? This is pretty much to help the customer, help the prospect start getting sold into the product, the end product, before they even reach the product page, right? And this is really, really important when you're looking at scaling your products and when you're looking at moving your products into more competitive markets. Because if you just move into a competitive market and there's a million sellers in the market selling the same thing on Facebook ads or on whatever ad platform that you're using, obviously you're not going to make sales because everyone is doing the same thing. When everyone's doing the same thing, when everyone's going right, you go left, right? So you need to pre-sell the customer. So that's why it's called a pre-sell advertorial, right? So when people come to this website, they start reading what's this about. They pretty much go on a full journey. So you can see it's a 5 minute read. What that means is people are going to probably read the entire article, at least half of it, for 2 to 3 minutes. And they're probably going to start feeling emotionally connected to the product or the story of what's being listed over here, right? So pretty much in this article, it's about solving problems that other products do not really offer in the market, right? It's about solving problems that the dog lover did not know that they had, right? So it's pretty much solving problems and solving solutions, right? Pretty much presenting solutions that a dog lover might not have even considered or thought about in the past, right? When you do that, automatically your ROI starts increasing, right? Because people start paying attention to what this page is about and what this website's about and what the brand is about, right? So when that happens, obviously the customer gets a chance to choose their package and move to the next step of the product page, right? Now, let's say 80 to 90% of people who pretty much visit the site, visit the pre-sale advertorial, they cannot purchase. They don't purchase on that first go. That's why you would implement retargeting ads, right? So retargeting ads are the ads that people who have already come to this website and to your landers, to your social media, they have engaged with your ads, you can retarget all of them, get them to click, right? You get them to click, they pretty much see this kind of ad, and because they have obviously checked out the website, they obviously are interested, right, in the product. You retarget them with this kind of ad, and you also make it in a way that it looks like a customer review, right? Now, what happens is obviously people who are interested, they go ahead and they click. When they click, they reach the product page, right? Here's where you're actually displaying the value proposition, what you're actually selling into the market, right? Now, when you do that, here's literally the offer page, right? Now, how to really improve the customer lifetime value or increase the AOV? There are two ways to do this, right? You could either offer, let's say, a subscribe and save offer, right? Most companies do this for between 10 to 20% of a per box price, right? So if they subscribe and save, they save 20%, right? This is a very, very easy way to improve subscriptions and start almost productizing your entire brand, right? And scaling your entire brand. It almost makes it like a subscription based service, right? So that could be one way you could do it. Or the other way you could do it would be to add cross sells above the CTA, right? The CTA would be add to cart, but above that, you could pretty much add products that customers usually buy with your main hero product, right? So that would pretty much increase the average order value, correct? Now, let's say that's done. The next step would be pretty much this, right? So again, you're getting another chance to increase the average order value. You would pretty much again show customers that they're going to get a big, big deal if they do decide to pretty much add on and increase their AOV, right? Once you increase their AOV, they hit the checkout, they obviously make the purchase, and let's say they don't make a purchase. Let's say they try to check out, but then they skip, and many customers do that. So then obviously you would send them like an abandoned checkout mail, something like this, and even look at the ad copy, right? And look at the email copy. It's not just complete your order now. It's like woof, you left behind something, right? That tells you that it's pretty much customized to this brand. It's not some template that you just take from online, right? This is the way that actually big companies and big corporates and big e-com brands actually scale their brands, because they actually look into what their ideal customer base wants to see and wants to read and what they would enjoy reading. And while keeping that in mind, they also try to keep in mind their campaign goals. And their campaign goals is to increase net sales, net profits, and net revenue, right? So you need to make the content pieces pretty relevant to your ideal customer, right? Now, let's say thank you, let's say it's the upsell page, right? So even after all this mumbo jumbo is over, you're also looking at an upsell page to increase AOV, right? So this is an example of what that would look like, right? This is the full page. And you can see that there's just so many options that this brand is having in increasing the average AOV. Because obviously, when you're running such a big funnel, you're not just sending people to the product page, but you're actually pre-selling people all the way from here. This is going to require a massive budget, right? And to justify the massive budget, you need to justify the amount of revenue that you're going to generate and collect at the back of it. And the only way you do that is by increasing AOV. And the only way you increase AOV is these kinds of steps. You need to add these kinds of bumps and these kinds of apps that can help you do that, right? And they need to also be customized to your brand's look and feel, right? So this needs to be looked at, right? Next up, let's say customer finally makes the purchase. They finally buy a $41 product, right? Now you would pretty much take them to a post-purchase ad, right? So on your thank you page or on your purchase page, you would be looking at installing a pixel, right? So everyone who has already purchased from your brand, you can retarget them for the next 180 days, correct? And you do this pretty much directly on Facebook ads. You run a Facebook ad and you make it seem something like this, preferably the founder talking on camera. When you do this, it's going to increase the likelihood that your customer stays a customer for a really, really long time, right? Because if you're inviting them to a community and you're building pretty much like a group mentality and a group sort of thinking, what's going to happen is people are going to start being sold within the community because obviously everyone in this community is using your products. And if everyone's doing that, that means there's a higher likelihood that people will pretty much continue doing that activity or that action because there's a community behind them and there's a community doing it with them, right? So this pretty much just increases client customer lifetime value and further proves the point that you need to increase AOV. And these are so many different ways you can actually increase that average order value. Average order value is super important, right? And your AOV is going to determine how big and how fast your entire funnel can scale. Because if you don't have money and if you're having cash flow issues with your e-com store, you will not be able to pretty much put ad spend behind these kinds of ads where it's actually increasing the total number of customers or total number of prospects in your entire funnel, right? So, guys, that was the case study of this brand. I'll be coming out with more case studies in the coming days and weeks. So stay tuned for that.